Money is more than just a tool for buying things. It's a technology, a social agreement, and a force that shapes our societies in ways most headlines don't explain. From the material it's made of to the digital bits that represent it, every aspect of money influences our behavior, our trust in institutions, and even the language we speak. In this episode, we'll move beyond the surface-level noise and examine 11 striking facts about money. We'll unpack the evidence and context behind each one, and I'll give you practical checks, demos, or calculations you can run for yourself. I'll add cautions where numbers are simplified and point to reliable sources you can consult, so you can build your own informed perspective. Fact 1. Paper money's origin. While we think of paper money as a modern convenience, it first appeared as government-issued promissory notes in China during the Tang and Song dynasties, roughly 1,000 to 1,400 years ago. Before this innovation, large-scale trade was incredibly cumbersome, requiring merchants to transport heavy strings of metal coins. To solve this, early merchants and governments began using receipts and exchange notes. These weren't money themselves, but a promise to pay the bearer in coin on demand. This origin explains why many modern security features, serial numbers, official seals, and controlled issuance are so central to public trust. Without them, a banknote is just a piece of paper. The trust is the value. Practical check. Read a short history entry from a major library or museum website, like the British Museum's, on Song Dynasty Jiaozi notes, to trace these early examples and see how they solved a real-world problem for traders. Fact 2. Most money is digital. The cash in your wallet is just the tip of the iceberg. In our modern economy, money is overwhelmingly just ledger entries in computer systems. Central bank reports and economic studies estimate that over 90% of broad measures of money, like M2 or M3, exist as bank account balances, ledger entries, and electronic claims rather than physical cash. This means when a bank issues a loan, it doesn't typically hand over a briefcase of cash. It credits the borrower's account, creating new digital money in the process. This reality means the hidden plumbing of payments, interbank clearing systems, reserve rules, and central bank digital architectures matter far more for the economy's stability than the notes in your wallet. Practical exercise. Log into your bank app and note how a deposit instantly appears as a balance. Then, search for your central bank's official explainer on the money supply to understand how they measure and define these vast digital sums. Fact 3. Lifespan differences of banknotes. Not all money is created equal, especially when it comes to durability. The lifespan of a banknote varies dramatically by its denomination, a direct result of how we use it. A widely cited Federal Reserve figure shows that high-value notes like the $100 bill circulate less frequently. They are often used as a store of value, sometimes sitting in safes or held in reserve internationally, and can survive for 15 years or more. In stark contrast, a $1 or $5 bill is a workhorse, constantly exchanging hands in daily commerce, at coffee shops, vending machines, and markets. This relentless circulation causes them to wear out incredibly fast, with a typical lifespan of just a few years. Practical demo. Over the course of a day, consciously look at the small bills you receive as change. Notice the creases, fading, and soft texture. Then check your central bank's website. They often publish fascinating data on currency durability and replacement cycles. Fact 4. What paper money is made of. The term paper money is often a misnomer. Many modern banknotes, including US dollars, are actually made of a specialized blend of 75% cotton and 25% linen, rather than conventional wood pulp paper. This fabric-like composition gives notes their specific tactile properties, enhances their durability against folding and washing, and allows the intricate security printing to last longer. To further boost longevity and security, other countries, like Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom, have increasingly switched to polymer substrates. These plastic notes are waterproof, harder to tear, and can incorporate advanced anti-counterfeit features like transparent windows. Practical check. Take a bill from your wallet and feel its texture. Notice the distinct feel and the raised ink from the intaglio printing process. Compare it to a regular piece of printer paper. The difference is immediate. Your central bank's currency education page will usually explain the exact materials used. Fact 5. Salary and salt. The English word salary has fascinating etymological roots tied directly to salt in the ancient world. For the Roman Empire, salt was a strategic resource, essential for preserving food and maintaining the health of its citizens and soldiers. Roman soldiers were sometimes paid partly in salt, or more commonly, received a special allowance called a salarium, specifically for buying it. That direct connection illustrates how fundamental trade goods can shape not just our economies, but our very language. Caveat: etymology is nuanced. The historical path from to salary involves multiple uses of related terms over centuries, so it's more complex than a simple one-to-one payment. Treat simplified etymologies cautiously. Practical exploration. Consult a reputable etymological dictionary like the Oxford English Dictionary online, or look up a history source on Roman army logistics to see how vital commodities functioned like money. Fact 6. Record auction sales for rare coins. While most money is valued for what it can buy, some coins are valued for what they... Numismatic markets have placed extraordinary record-breaking values on rare historical coins. For example, a single 1933 Double Eagle gold coin, one of the last gold coins made for circulation in the U.S. and never officially issued, was sold at a Sotheby's auction in 2021 for nearly $19 million. Other unique specimens, like the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar, believed to be the first dollar coin ever minted by the U.S., have sold for over $10 million. These prices are driven by rarity, historical significance, and pristine condition. Auction records are public and provide a solid, verifiable trail of provenance and sale prices. Practical step. Visit the website of a major auction house like Sotheby's or Heritage Auctions. Search their archives for numismatics or a specific famous coin to view the detailed provenance notes and realized prices. Fact 7. Bitcoin transaction throughput claim. In the world of cryptocurrency, you'll often hear impressive claims about transaction speed, but the reality is highly variable. For Bitcoin, the base blockchain network has a fundamental limit. Due to its block size and block time, it can only process a handful of transactions per second, typically around 3 to 7. So where do claims like thousands of transactions per second come from? They almost always refer to off-chain or Layer 2 solutions like the Lightning Network, which bundle many small transactions together off the main chain and only settle the final result later. This is a crucial distinction between base layer settlement security and Layer 2 payment speed. Practical check. Don't just take a headline's word for it. Examine a live blockchain explorer for Bitcoin. You can see the current on-chain transactions per second in real time. Then, contrast that with the stated capacity of a major Layer 2 provider to see the difference for yourself. Fact 8. Oldest continuously operating bank. While modern banking feels like a recent phenomenon, some institutions trace their origins back for centuries. The title of oldest continuously operating bank is often given to Italy's Banca Monte dei Paschi di Siena, which was founded in 1472. It began as a mount of piety, a Monte di Pietà, an organized form of charity that provided loans to the poor. However, these claims always depend on definitions. What constitutes continuous operation? Surviving through mergers, nationalizations, rechartering, and massive corporate transformations can complicate the title. Other banks, like Berenberg Bank in Germany founded in 1590, also claim lengthy, unbroken histories. Practical verification. Check the corporate histories and archival records published on these banks' own websites. They often have detailed About Us or history pages that proudly lay out their institutional lineage, giving you a window into centuries of financial history. Fact 9. Weight of global money. Have you ever wondered, what does all the money in the world weigh? Claims about the aggregate weight of all money depend entirely on what you're measuring. If you mean physical currency, you can get a rough estimate. For example, a US banknote weighs about 1 gram. With roughly 50 billion notes in circulation, the total weight of all US paper money is around 50,000 metric tons. But that's just one currency. Some popular figures mix metaphors or try to estimate total global physical currency weight. While that yields large, impressive numbers, remember the crucial context from Fact 2. The vast majority of global value is digital and has negligible physical mass. It exists as light and electricity in server farms. Practical idea. Try a back-of-the-envelope calculation. Find your country's currency and circulation report on its central bank website. Find the average note mass and multiply them. It's a great exercise in understanding the scale of physical versus digital value. Fact 10. Folding a bill repeatedly myth. You might have heard the mind-bending riddle. If you could fold a piece of paper 42 times, it would reach the moon. This classic problem demonstrates the power of exponential growth, where the thickness doubles with each fold. But applying this to a real banknote is a myth. While a US bill is impressively durable and can reportedly withstand thousands of folds back and forth before tearing, you can't actually fold it in half more than a handful of times. Real banknotes have a complex fiber structure and a non-zero thickness that creates physical resistance. After about 7 or 8 folds, the material becomes too thick and rigid to bend any further. Saying you can fold one bill 4,000 times is physically unrealistic. Practical experiment. Try it yourself safely. Take a flexible bill or even just a strip of paper. Fold it in half as many times as you can, keeping the folds neat. You'll quickly discover the physical limits of the material, a tangible lesson in the difference between mathematical theory and physical reality. Fact 11. Microbes on banknotes. Money travels, and it picks up passengers along the way. Numerous scientific studies sampling circulated banknotes from around the world have found they host diverse microbial communities. Researchers have identified hundreds of species of bacteria, fungi, and viruses, along with environmental DNA traces from animals and plants. The specific microbes vary widely by geography, climate, the material of the note itself, polymer versus cotton, and the sampling methods used. While the risk of disease transmission from cash is generally considered low compared to other surfaces, the findings are a powerful reminder of how interconnected we are. The practical takeaway is simple hygiene. It's always a good idea to wash your hands after handling large amounts of cash, especially before eating or touching your face. Practical step. Next time you handle cash, just take a moment to think about its unseen journey. Then consult public health literature from sources like the CDC or WHO for more on fomites, objects that can carry infectious agents. Across these 11 facts, a few core principles help us separate signal from noise. First, always try to cite original or review sources for numerical claims. Second, state the context and measurement method whenever you give a number. Is it on-chain or layer 2? Physical currency or total money supply? Third, engage with the topic through simple demos or calculations that you can follow safely. For each fact, I've included a one-sentence citation lower third and a viewer task, such as checking bank web pages, reading auction house results, running a fold thickness experiment, or using a blockchain explorer. These aren't just trivia, they are tools for critical thinking. Now, I encourage you to pick one of these viewer tasks to try this week. Post your result or what you learned in the comments below, and be sure to mention the source you used. Subscribe for more clear money science and practical experiments you can run yourself.